Ann Montgomery. Years ago, my sister went into a Scientology building in Denver and decided to take a class. She was almost finished with it, and there was a gal walking around, so she told her she wouldn't be there next week as she was flying to Portland to visit her family. The gal said, "You can't do that." My sister said, "Yes, I can." So the gal went into a little office and huddled with a guy and came back and told her he wanted to talk to her. She went in to see him, and he then told her that she had to finish the class and that she wasn't allowed to go to Oregon. My sister told him she was going, and she said to him, "You have no control over me." She left and never went back, and they never tried to contact her. My question is, why would they be so forceful with her when it was just her first class and she hadn't even had a win yet? Well, there could be a couple reasons for this. One, you just have a, kind of gung-ho, over-enthusiastic course room supervisor who's just determined to get his stats up that week, and he needed your sister to finish the course in order to have a statistic, because having somebody in the middle of a course doesn't really count for much of anything, especially the beginning courses where they're really only counting course completions. So they might have just been hungry for that week's stats to be up, and so they were going to pressure her into staying and finishing her course. I used to do that all the time, but I didn't generally do that with new public. Which made me think that maybe another thing that might have been going on there is that the public courses supervisor might have been out that day, might have been on vacation or something, and the more heavy-duty, high-pressure academy supervisor, which is where the mainline Scientology courses are done, he might have been covering for the public courses. Or they might have had the public courses in with the academy courses under the academy supervisor. That happens all the time because they don't have enough staff, and so they don't have a separate public courses supervisor. In which case she was getting the harsh treatment that all the academy guys usually get. So that could have been another reason that happened. Either way, you see that they don't really care about what else is going on in your life. I used to be endlessly frustrated by this when I was a course room supervisor. I was the bad guy. And it was my job to get, I didn't think of myself as the bad guy, but it was my job to get people through these courses. And I was supposed to get as many people through as many courses as I could each and every week. And because that, Thursday at 2 is when we counted how many course completions did I get. And if I didn't have it up, if I had 4 last week and I only had 3 this week, I was going to hear about it. So I used to, all but manhandle my students into staying when they had to go on vacations or they had to go off and handle some emergency. It was always, why are you doing this to me? I'd always take it so personally too. But that's because I was getting in, a lot of trouble when I wasn't getting my stats up. So it sort of created this whole weird situation and dynamic with my own students where I couldn't really just appreciate them for who they were and let them go at their own pace through the courses. It was always, come on, taka, now. Let's go, you got to get done with this thing. Always this high pressure. To the point where I would actually try to sell students on the idea. I'd convince them to come in early, stay late, sometimes stay all night long on a Wednesday night in order to finish their courses before Thursday at 2. It was the game. It was the birthday game. It was all these euphemisms that we would use to try to sell people who were Scientologists on why they needed to get through their courses, taka. So that's kind of the reason why there's so much pressure on the students. And generally speaking, they don't do that on those first public level courses. They're very hands-off. They're very come and go. We're cool with that. You can only show up once a week. It's okay. They're not really super high pressure at the lower levels, at the beginning courses. But once you go up to the academy and you've now basically said, wow, this Scientology stuff is really cool. I really like it. I want to do more of it. What's the mainline services? How do I get going on those? Then you're in the big leagues, and then they take the kid gloves off. That's really how it goes.